Welcome to Imperfect, because you know what? It's better to be imperfect than to not do a thing. So very exciting, very exciting. I'm doing an activity while I'm talking to you. We have, I wanted to do this about like Los Angeles specific, right? That's why I'm doing Kirsten's agenda. I love, one of the good things about being an adult is that you can set things on fire. Like no one is like, no, Kirsten, you're not allowed to have matches. I have matches.
Kirsten's Agenda is the name of my show. It's a way to make art and learn stuff and grow. There will be lots of segments and maybe some guests. 10 minutes of deep breath, that is my quest. Opening up is a really good place to start. Kirsten's Agenda.
Drinking some caffeine. I put on rings. What I'm excited about today in particular is that we have Marissa Roy, who is running for city attorney. You're going to learn all about that here. One thing I'd like to point out that you will see in this exchange is that the pleasure in which she has at the doing of her job, which she already does this job. She'll just be working for the city as opposed to not. I mean, she's still working for the city, but you know what I mean? Like she's still working for the interests of the people of the city. But you get to see that, and that's exciting, and that's here. Now, it's nice to meet you. Thank you so much for being here. This is very exciting.
I'm so excited to talk to you too. I mean, there's just like so much that people don't know about the city attorney. And like, one of the earliest pieces of advice I got when I was doing this type of law, because like the type of law I do is like sue companies, was one of my mentors was like, follow your rage. And so like every time I'm like read the newspaper and I'm like, Warner Paramount merger or Live Nation calling, like my first thought is like, I'm going to sue them. Let's sue.
So what I love is what you just said about the taking your rage. My therapist talks about how an emotion, it like you have the emotion and then it flourishes and then you turn it into something else. So you doing something incredibly productive with this rage that all of us have right now. And I feel like as a Los Angeles person, what I'm realizing in real time is I used to think we were so progressive across the board. And you start finding out like we're actually very centrist, which is kind of terrifying. And if we don't slow that down, we're going to be in big trouble. Can you tell everybody why this is so important? Because I feel like we tune out. I feel like this malaise comes over all of us about local politics.
Yes.
My theory is they put something in the water to trick us and make us bored whenever we talk about it, because I never used to care. And it's the thing that influences us the most.
But I think that's the thing. It's like people don't realize that this is actually probably one of the most impactful positions on their lives, or it could be. So the city attorney basically does a lot of things. Like I think a lot of people might think, oh, district attorney, that's the law and order stuff, right? Murder trials. It's like, so city attorney is way, way more interesting and more wide ranging and more powerful actually. So the city attorney obviously defends the city anytime it's sued, helps write ordinances and advise departments, make sure the city is running. But it has also in Los Angeles this huge power under state law to sue any business for anything unlawful, unfair, or deceptive. And when I say anything unlawful, I mean literally anything. Violations of federal antitrust laws and monopoly laws, violations of state, tenants' rights laws, violation of local minimum wage laws. You can go after the corporate polluters, the companies stealing wages, the bad landlords, like all of these companies, any sort of abuse, you can actually sue them as the city attorney. The problem is we just don't have a city attorney who's ever been really invested in building that project. And the current city attorney is completely funded by corporations, has been discouraging prosecution against corporate donors. And we have a real opportunity for change if people just kind of know the huge potential of this position.
So you're saying that the city attorney can handle things that have to do with like these merger situations, also renters' concerns, and also environmental things, which these three things might not be important to a city attorney that cares more about corporations. And bless her heart, bless their heart. But like that might not be important to them. But the people who live in Los Angeles, this is important to us. But we can only make that change if we go to vote?
Right now, we have a Trump administration that has gutted the Federal Trade Commission, which usually is supposed to be investigating and blocking abusive mergers.
Right.
And because we have no federal government that is actually policing companies, it falls on the state attorneys general and the city attorneys to do the work of the federal government, essentially. And so, right now, with the Warner Paramount merger, it's absolutely like a violation of our antitrust laws. So we need the state attorneys general, we need the city attorney suing, and especially the Los Angeles city attorney. The fact that she hasn't gotten involved, like this is Hollywood. Like this is our industry. This is our, our artists we need to protect. And this is speech that will impact the entire nation if it's concentrated in the hands of a few. And so I'm really glad that the Attorney General, Rob Bonta and other attorney generals are investigating this, but our LA city attorney should be right there with them.
Absolutely. And to paraphrase the Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, believe it. And it's not just what people say. We've been existing in this world where now we've seen way too much. People say a lot of things and then they don't do something. So when you get elected, what are the things that you are going, because we've seen the person who's currently doing it, they're not doing the things that make LA what we love about LA. So what are you going to do that's very in the ethos of the Los Angeles that we love when you get elected?
Well, honestly, one of the reasons I actually love that quote so much, it's funny you bring it up because I kind of say that is like when people show you who they are, believe them. Because she's shown us who she is as a corporate city attorney. But I've also spent my career showing people who I am. So every single time I say, we're going to go after, corporations stealing wages, we're going to go after landlords, we're going to go after big tech, it's literally what I do. And so I got my start in the LA City Attorney's office fighting wage theft. And I sued companies that were paying, car wash workers as little as $4.50 an hour and was able to win back those workers $10,000 to $40,000 each. I then went on to represent the county against the Trump administration and was part of over a dozen legal actions. And now I'm actually suing Meta and for all the ways that the apps have caused addiction and trying to recover for all the mental health harms. We go to trial in August. And then also just literally at the end of February, had been investigating an abusive landlord and won back over $500,000 for tenants who were impacted by unlawful evictions and, deplorable conditions. So when I say we can be fighting for workers, fighting for tenants, doing climate justice, fighting big tech, it's like I've been fighting the Trump administration, like been there, done that. Like I know exactly what I'm talking about.
I mean, look at the Bengal tiger of nature is totally tuned in to Marissa, and I am too. And look, I'm not trying, I don't have any interest in talking to the other person running for city attorney because I already know about them and I'm bored with talking about what they're doing because they've been doing it for this period of time and it's not in anybody's interest and it's boring to me. So I don't want to talk to them on the show. I don't need them on my virtual lawn. This is not a you guys can go find out about the person running. You can actually observe what they're doing. It's not why I'm having an argument with myself about, well, why didn't you have both people on? Because I don't want to, I already know. Why do I? And also I'm not really interested in what the person says. I'm interested in what they do. And I already seen what she's done. We talked about that in our interview with Marissa, which I don't know if that part's on today or not, but maybe. We'll see. This is the rewatch part of the show. This is the rewatch part. So I'm singing the intro song, and then it does the Kirsten's Agenda thing, which is an 80s theme, which is one of my eras, so I like it. Now, the top of this, we say this quote.
Being kind is punk as fuck. Be punk
This is holding
as
up.
fuck.
This is a good one. Let's do this together. Oh, I'm going to do it with the past me and the me from the future and you, okay? Also, everything we want is in our breath. We can make our dream come true for 2 seconds just by breathing. So I think that this is still right, okay? Just by breathing for a moment, you think about the way you want to feel. Okay, let's have a static pleasure. Okay, I'll let it go. I do forget that taking one breath changes everything. It feels so small. doesn't it? Now we've moved on to a thing that when I originally did it, the producer said, that language is too extreme.
I would like to my
I think a
feelings.
whole time.
I've
I
decided
think
to start my feelings.
I do think that we should get down and close and nuzzle with our feelings. But I also think we should let, as my therapist Joni says, we have to let our feelings flourish and settle. Flourish and settle. And that is what emotions are supposed to do. They're supposed to, that's what they do naturally. They flourish and they settle.
This number.
Oh, I like this part. This part still stands.
How
This
do you
is what
call
we
your
call our
congressperson? This is how you do it.
Now,
So let's
since
say
we
you're
live in
gonna-
the future, the place I use to call is 5 calls. Not an ad. I just love them. You can get your script from 5 calls, the 5 calls app, which is free. You can get your script from, I like Jessica Craven. You can find her on Instagram. I also like Amanda's Mild Take sometimes has them, right? Yeah. Kate for the People sometimes has them. These are all progressive things because I'm progressive. For me, that means I want to live in a care-centered community, whether that's where I live or the government, the whole government, micro and macro. Speaking of, I loved the conversation I had with Marissa Roy. I loved it so much. I feel like everybody has a part to play in community, like I can't do what you can do. You can't do the things that your sibling can do, that your parents can do, that your teachers can. Everybody's got their own skill set, right? Like some people are great communicators. Some people are great agitators. And know that someone cares about the people of Los Angeles that's good at litigation is very exciting. And I want there to be like different houses of us. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what house I'm in. If I was just making it up off the top of my head, Marissa's in like a house that's like a little like a rule follower, but in a fun way, like using the shadow side of us or the villain of us, but for good. You know what I mean? Not saying she's a villain, but in the way that we all carry those archetypes or those personas inside of us, it's like that inner part of us that is like hey, you're not supposed to do that. But she's using it for good. So it's like we all have that part, but it's like Marissa's using that part of her that's like, you're not supposed to do that. And going in to the court. I mean, Marissa is gorgeous and not and inside and out. But I want to be clear that Marissa this is not a depiction of Marissa. This is a depiction of like that inner like hall monitor inside of us. It's going like, hey, she's like a mixture. She's like a mixture of, but it's like embracing your inner, like, you're not supposed to do that with like regal, like, I'm going to protect you. Whatever this is. Plus the earnestness of Parks and Rec and the ability to have the magical thinking. And she journals. I mean...